Mm-hmm. do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And Jacob, would you please come for the invocation?
Let's pray. Oh God, we give you thanks for all things. We give you thanks for the beauty of the day, and we give you thanks for the ability to be here today, to fellowship, to learn, to grow, and to remember to serve. So God, be with us as we enjoy this food, and bless the hands that prepared this food from farms and factories to this table. God, you have been present in it all, and we give you thanks. And help us to remember on this day that as we prepare to listen and learn, that our eyes be open to something new, and that our ears hear something that will help us to learn. For it's in your Son, Jesus Christ's name we pray, and all God's people say together, Amen.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Guest and visiting Rotarians. Phil is not here, so I will handle that. We are happy to welcome today Lance Young, former governor, and Chris Robinson from Eastleigh. Would you like to welcome Chris? And Ruth Mahoney, who is the guest of Jim Mahoney. And let's give them a big round of applause. Raffle and Queen of Hearts, which is open to all ticket holders. And I will ask Tim Howard, our guest speaker, to draw the winning ticket. And today's pot is a whopping $17. And the winner is $43.77. 4377. Who is the very fortunate winner? Ah, Ed. Oh my gosh. He's the one who distributes the tickets, right? Okay. Tim Howard needs to come to the podium again. Congratulations, Ed. Well deserved. And now it's for the Queen of Hearts drawing, which is open only to members of the Clemson Rotary. And the holder of the selected ticket earns the opportunity to draw from the Queen of Hearts, which today is worth $221 with 46 cards remaining. And the winner is 4328. 4328. And Rob is our shuffler. And we have a winner. Congratulations, Terry. Great effort, Terry. And are you going to choose the right card, Terry? Apparently, no, it's not. Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Good effort. And we have a third one today, is that correct? For our perfect attendance drawing, open only to members of the Rotary Club, and the winning ticket holder must have had perfect attendance for the month of September. And the amount in the pot is $16. And who is this very fortunate winner? The number is 4400. 4400. You see the importance, everybody, to be here every week. It's very, very important. That's what I tell my students all the time. Okay, now we have health and happiness. We have several birthdays. And we're going to sing happy birthday in a fast tempo very soon. First, member birthday. Felipe Beltazzo Tobar born October 5th. October 8th, Emily Ewald. And October 9, Lee Woods. Partner birthdays, Lauren Tisley, wife of Tom. Member anniversary, Donna McCabbin, 18 years. Sarah Elizabeth Pollock, 5 years. Tom Tisley, 5 years. Wedding anniversary, Nikki and Joseph Carter have been married for 3 years. Let's sing happy birthday to everybody. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Wonderful tempo, guys. Announcements. We have several announcements. One from Ethel, one from Holly. Would Ethel and Holly come to the podium? Before they arrive, I have something to share with you. Great news. I want to report, I'm happy to report that we have received a check from the district, a district grant check in the amount of $2,500. Congratulations, everybody. Holly.
So just wanted to remind everybody that this Saturday at 9 a.m., Garland's been organizing another roadside cleanup. So everybody's meeting at RC Edwards at 9 this Saturday. And then we've got a sign-up sheet up here. So if you do want to participate and help out, you can just write your name on this so we've got a good idea of how many will be showing up. Thank you.
Yes, please come and sign the signing sheet. Thank you so much, Garland.
My announcements from the district. The Kaufman Fund is going to match every Polio Plus donation for this month. So those of you who had signed up to be the Polio Plus Society, if you have not given your $100 for this year, this will be an excellent time to do it because it will be matched. Also, anybody who wishes to give to Polio Plus in any amount, not just the $100, in any amount, you can do it online, you can give me a check. That will also be matched by the Kaufman Fund. Those are two members of our district who happens to be the district Polio Plus chairperson, and he is very, very passionate about this and is willing to match our funds. It's a nice match. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ethel, and thank you for the good work you do. Several announcements. Oyster Roast tickets are on sale at $60 a ticket, and we need each of you to participate. All checks are made out to the Rotary Club of Clemson Foundation. And credit card payment can be made at the meeting at the front table with Karen, Sarah Elizabeth, or online at our website. Visit our website. It's an exciting website, Clemson Rotary website. For tickets and money collection, please meet with, for sponsors, Matt Williams, for Tom Martin's tribute, Denny, and for individual tickets, Karen Carter. I think we are doing well, but we all need an effort from everybody. Second announcement, thank you for those who helped distribute dictionaries and chapter books at Clemson Elementary and Central Academy last Monday. Thank you so much to everybody, and Eric Brazil and Bob Mahoney for organizing. I think it affects the life of hundreds of students. And that means a lot for the kids and for our community. We have a printout of the list. Some people request the printout of the list of current members. It is in color, and I touched the paper. It's a very nice quality paper. So it is done for you. So if you're not comfortable with computers like me, just have the hard copy. It has been printed for you. Come at the end of the meeting to grab one. Then there will be a roadside cleanup, as it was mentioned earlier, and there is a sign-up sheet. Thank you so much, Garland, for leading us in this effort, a very noble effort. And we meet at RC Edwards Middle School. Last meeting we had, I think, 15 people. It was remarkable. So let's try to match this and have as many people show up to clean our roads. Finally, I received a letter from James Hampton. And I will read it briefly. This letter will serve to inform you that regrettably, and I'm sure many of you know Jim Hampton, I must tender my resignation as a member of Rotary Club of Clemson due to advanced age. I find it more and more difficult to participate in activities outside my home. And I think the next paragraph is inspirational for us. Rotary is a great organization that does tremendous good all over the world. I am very proud that I've been a member since the early 1980s, serving in 3 clubs, Rock Hill, Clemson Morning, and Clemson Noon. I wish to you and the Rotary Club of Clemson much success in the years ahead. Best regards, James Hampton. So as we have done previously with other members, I would like you to sign. It's a smaller card, but there is still some space. So let's have the card circulate and sign your name and express your warmest wishes to James. And now we have Happy Bucks. And who will do the Happy Bucks? Rusty.
I've got $1 for Lance. Good to see you, Lance. Who's happy?
Here's $1 I made it another year.
Here's $1 for Terry and Cheryl. Enjoyed that music today. Wanted to get up and dance. That cost you more.
I have $3. One is, hi Lance, good to see you. Another is for my Rotary anniversary. And the third is, how many of you wondered what t-shirts made into dog toys would look like? Last week when the Rotaract Club met, they made dog toys. These will be delivered to the Oconee County Humane Society for use for the dogs there in socialization, give them some things to play with, and allow people to have a toy to take home with new adoptions. So thank you from the Rotaract Club members.
Good.
$1 for winning the pot.
Good.
This first one is, it's great to see Lance. Thank you for coming to visit. And the second $1 is to just remind you all that I'm still working on sponsorships. We've had lots of good support so far. I have tickets and paperwork. I'm making a deposit again today. So if you have sponsorship activities or business to do with me, I'll stand back here to be sure I have it all together. Just for your information, I know I cannot be here next Monday, but then I'll be here the Monday after that, and you can reach me by phone, but thanks for the help with sponsorships.
This $1 is for raindrops keep falling on your head. Boop, boop. Thank you. This is one of my favorite songs, man. She's great.
There's another one for Lance.
Thank you, Rusty. Put $5 in. I want to say a few words. First, it's great to be back at Clemson. It's good to see so many friends. For those that don't know me, I was the president back in 2010 and had a wonderful year. It was one of the best experiences I had as far as leadership. And a lot of the same folks were right here supporting Rotary back then, and you'll continue to do so, and I appreciate it. And I also want to congratulate your club. The district has done extremely well this past year. It's nice to have Chairwoman Edith Pettigrew. She is the foundation chair for your club, but overall the district had one of the best years they've ever had. And that's not only helping Rotary International with the grants, but also with Polio Plus. Second thing I wanted to mention is George Rogers. He couldn't be here today. He's helping some folks. But he spoke. I'm a member of the E-Club of the Carolinas, so it's all online. And we meet like tomorrow night at 6 p.m. by Zoom. And he spoke to our club about polio and his trip to India. The E-Club is hosting a Nancy Barbie, who is the coordinator who controls and runs those NID events over to India, and she's planning another one. And she'll be speaking at the E-Club of the Carolinas on the 23rd of October. If anybody's interested, just let me know. I want to also congratulate the Clemson Tigers for winning this weekend. It's an exciting team. And then lastly, I just want to thank Eric Toya. I didn't know if most of y'all knew this, but we collaborated and we take students over to Normandy. We haven't done this for the past few years, but we did like 10 years prior to that. And we're working to do this again on the in 2023 in May. And that's one of the reasons I'm here today, is to meet with some students and discuss that. But anyway, thank y'all so much for all you do for Rotary.
I put in $5. Saturday was my birthday. It's a good day. Tigers win and the Braves win. And the Braves win last night, too. It was really good. And for Mrs. Mahoney, Chris, and Lance, all our visitors here. Thanks.
It's exciting. I actually got to watch the Braves last night. They weren't blacked out.
So I have $5 here. One is for the Georgia Bulldogs, that they actually pulled out a win and managed to just only drop to number 3 after their bad showing, but at least they won. The other one's for the Clemson Tigers, also for our 2 birthdays over the weekend, Bill Harley and Holly. And then also another big thank you to Eric Brazil. He's not here, but he did a tremendous job organizing the dictionaries, getting them purchased, as well as working with the teachers at Clemson and Central Elementary to get the chapter books that we needed. So, and added to the program that we're doing. So there we go.
I just have $1, 150 cents for our guest, and it's always good to see the Mahoney Trio.
This happy dollar is for our speaker today, Tim Howard. Long time ago, had a lot of fun with that guy. He's great.
Thank you. Tim Howard is our guest, and Dennis will introduce him.
Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to make this brief. But Tim has led a distinguished career. He started out with Westland Helicopters in the United Kingdom, and where he started off as a software engineer, later transitioning to programs involving configuration management. That program involved the AW-101 helicopter, which today is a $21 million per unit value. After his time with Westland, he came to the United States, Integrated Support System, my former employer, recognized his ability in configuration management and hired him on to be responsible for marketing and selling of the InSync product line. He worked for he worked for Integrated Support Systems for 6 years, later going over to Infor as a director of corporate quality for global solutions. And where he became a certified Society for Quality ASQ auditor. From there, he came to Clemson University, and he went to work for the Watt Center. And at the Watt Center, he first was a program manager for 7 years, and over the last 5 years, he has become director of the Watt Center. Among his key projects at the Watt Center is the Clemson Energy Visualization and Analytics Center program, which has to do with carbon footprints, and they're developing software to analyze and report on the carbon footprint of every building on the Clemson campus. Tim, I'm going to turn it over to you. He now is also, along with that carbon footprint software, which they developed specifically for Clemson, but he now is CEO of Carbon Sense Incorporated, which is a commercialization of that software. So Tim, take it away.
Thank you, Denny. All right, so I've got a few, thank you. So I've got a few slides here just to go through. And the first, when Denny talked about what innovation, I'm going to turn it around and really focus on the what. So the what innovation, the innovation really that's being done at the what. I'm going to cover these three things really: the building innovation, the innovation in action, so how we use it, and then I'm going to open up some questions. Now, don't wait till the end. If you have a question, put your hand up. I may say, hey, I'm going to cover it in a minute. It might be my way of giving me some time to think about it, or hoping that you forget the question. I'm not just going to. So let's go through this. So the building innovation. It started really in 2013 when I met Mr. Wayne over there, and we were looking for funding for this building. It's a huge building, not as big as the College of Business, I would guess, but it's 5 stories, 4 above ground. I went through the concept design, the detailed design, and then I was responsible for all of the AV that was integrated. It's about $12 million worth of audio video. Clemson didn't pay that. Thankfully, we got a lot of partners to help pay for that. So you can see there the video wall. It's 209 feet long, 24 feet high, over 400,000 LEDs. The LEDs are 4 inches apart. It was Philips Lighting. They donated that. They wanted to be able to showcase their lighting. It wasn't just for accents on bridges, so they wanted to showcase that. And so that's how they did that. We opened the building in 2016 in January. Philips is a huge partner for us here. So here's an inside shot. All of the lights in the building are PoE lighting. In other words, there's no power, 110 volts, apart from some of the canisters there in the main foyer. The rest are all powered by the Ethernet. So you plug it in just like you would your computer. All of our lights actually have IP addresses, and most of them have to have update on the drivers. But that enables us to move walls around and not have to worry about the wiring. We can actually reprogram the lights to work individually or together based on where our walls are. That was one of the key things that we wanted to get with innovation. So we use a Diversicore system out of California. The big white pillars there that you see, that's the Diversicore system. The old way of building construction really is to be able to have those forms, and then you pour the concrete down the form, you let it set, and then you move the form, right? And you build the house or the building like that. Diversicore doesn't do it that way. Diversicore is a steel structure that is made off-site, and they deliver it every morning, and it's built as we go through, and then concrete is then poured into that steel. So it's no waste. It's very quick and easy to build. We actually use a smaller footprint during the build than the Academic Success Center, which is a smaller building, but that's really because we built it in the Diversicore system. Another thing that we did here is we've got raised flooring throughout. number of benefits there. One is we can reduce the size of the height of the building, and the raised floor is actually the plenum. How many times have you built or you've remodeled, and then you find that when you move the furniture, that power outlet isn't quite in the right spot, right? Or now it's sitting over the air vent. Well, in this building, I can move all of that, all right? They're all in the floor, and I can move any of that power or any of the air. I can move it one tile. I can probably move about 15 feet from where the current location is, so it can really fix with the furniture. This is another angle of the same atrium there. You might think that I'm taking that shot, or I've got that shot there, because it shows the project rooms that students can book and work in there. You might think I've taken that shot there because of the 3 media video walls there, the 2x2s that we have. Or in fact, because the brand center there with the 4x4 video wall. You're wrong. I put this picture in there because there's a picture of me. So here's the auditorium. Here we have a video wall here that is 30 feet long and 8 feet high. This is actually an old shot. The new one doesn't have the bezels in it like that one does. This was done for a presentation display space. So, for example, when Sunoco donated $308 million of software to Clemson, it was announced at the football game in the evening, but in the morning it was actually announced here live. We have the best fiber optic connections to the Madron Center, so we can broadcast live from here. So in here we had BMW CEO, we had all of the people there in the space. They use it a lot for president and provost functions. So let's talk a little bit more about the innovation with some people in it. Top left there, you can see the kind of resolution that you can get with a video wall. All of our monitors are, you can connect them to your phone or your laptop without any cables. There's no cables involved in here. You can see the top right. Students there they may be practicing a presentation, or they may be doing a tutoring session, but you don't have to connect your laptop with the wire. It's all done wirelessly. The other thing that you can do within this building is that you can actually teach in one classroom, and your students could be in another classroom. All of our classrooms, we've got 12 of them, really, they can be, you can be connected together. In fact, general engineering have done that. They've had one professor was ill, so he was in 108 teaching, and the class in 208 were being taught by him at the same time. So it's kind of a neat feature there. I said classroom. It really wasn't built as a classroom building, really. It was really built for more collaboration, okay? The thought was, the provost at the time, that classes were gonna go more and more online, and the thing that made Clemson different was actually the bricks and mortar and bringing people together to work on projects. So that's why it's really focused on collaboration. That's why everything is wireless. That's why all of our tables are whiteboards. They can lie down flat, or you can sit them up and write on them just like you would a whiteboard. So that was really the premise of what the Innovation Center was going for. The makerspace. I always encourage the students to use the makerspace. I told my daughter, AJ, for the first 2 years that she needed to use the makerspace. It's part of the tuition. You should use it. For the last 2 years, I couldn't get her out of there. Once you start using it, it's kind of interesting. It doesn't matter what you make. It's the process of going through it. So you go through with the CAD drawings, you then render it, and then you can send it to a 3D printer. They've also got laser cutters in there, so you can etch on glass. You'll be surprised how many birthday presents and Christmas gifts are actually made in the Watt Innovation Center here. We have 18 3D printers here. Top right, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. That's a nurse. Nursing is the third largest group using the 3D Makerspace. And we're very proud of that. And that's done because we have interns in there. You don't have to know how to use a 3D printer. They will actually help and get you ready and go through it. And she's sitting at a table there of 3D projects that the nurses have made to either help with the care of a patient or to help a nurse provide that. And some of those things actually have gone out for IP and actually manufactured. So for example, an infant, when you put that passy in the mouth, when they're very young, it's hard for them to breathe. And that's a problem when they're preemie, right? So the nurse came up with a way of actually making holes in the middle of the pacifier so that baby could breathe with that passy in her mouth. That turned into IP. So now if you see it in the store, that's where it came from. It came from the Makerspace here. So it's kind of an interesting story. Oh, too far. We also have a virtual reality space. I took this shot of kids really just, you can write your own programs or you can use a canned VR space. And these are students letting off steam, usually before exams or stuff like that. I didn't show you the picture there with the nurses in that space, because when they're in that space, those big screens in the back are showing lungs and hearts and stuff like that. And it's actually required that the nursing students go through that, because it's the first time they can actually see a real life-size heart, lungs, and stuff like that all in the 3D world. Like I say, the downside is it's actually displayed on the screens for people walking by. The last piece here I'm going to talk about is CVAC. It started out with SmartWatt. We've got a lot of technology in the Watt Center. So I've got 18 submeters, so I know exactly how much my lighting on every floor is taken. I know how much my computers are taking on every floor. I know how much my data rooms are taking on every floor. And I know how much my HVAC is taking. So I wanted to, if we're collecting all this data, then I think we should do something with it. So we created a thing called SmartWatt. And I showed this to facilities, and facilities said, this is very good. I'm going to give you some money for some students if you'd create it for all the buildings on campus. That was 4 years ago. And so we created CVAC. My partner in crime here is Snow Lopes, who is in facilities, and I work for the Watt. Together, we've had about 50 students come through this program. It's pretty amazing what they've done. We're working now with over 500 million records. We're doing live data changes. So let's go through some of the things. It was set up really for state of the art. Okay, this is taking their academic world and putting it into what I call real life, right? CVAC I treated like a company. When they were interning for me, I treated like a company. You gave me your working hours, I expected you to be there for those working hours. We're going to use state-of-the-art stuff, and we're going to give you the ability to use some of the things that you've been taught through your classes, like SQL and Python, and we'll put it into real life. Oh. So let's start with some of that. This is in Power BI. It's the state-of-the-art BI software that we use. This is Clemson's footprint. It was done by a third party before we took it over. In fact, when we took it over, we asked them to correct a few things because we found some issues with it. This, in the light color, is carbon neutrality, is what Clemson is saying they want to be carbon neutral by 2030. Clemson's doing it a little differently too. There's a lot of companies out there that claim they're carbon neutral. And really what they're doing is they're going to measure how fast you're going, and I'm going to pay the fine, right? I'm going to pay the credits, and then I'm carbon neutral. That's not the approach that Clemson is making, right? Clemson is saying, hey, before I pay the fine, let me see if I can reduce my speed. right? In other words, if I could reduce my energy consumption, at the end of it, I wouldn't have to pay so many on carbon credits, right? Oh, and by the way, every year I'm saving money, right? They predict that energy prices are going to go up 23, 25% next year, right? And so a place like Clemson, it's going to be an issue. So how are we going to fix that? We break down carbon footprint into 3 scopes: scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. It's broken down by the EPA. It's nothing that we've done. But if we then break that down, and you can see the colors there, 1, 2, and 3. If we break that down into one example, you can see here, we can begin to see the problem, right? You can see there that the purple is 50% of the problem. So if I had to fix one thing in this particular area, it would be that purple, which happens to be travel. And when we presented this, or when the company presented this at the sustainability meeting at Clemson, there were a number of people who said, well, travel, let's stop travel. Let's not go, let's tell the professors they can't go to anywhere else. We're going to stop the study abroad program, right? That's a knee-jerk reaction. And so what we say is, let's have a look at this data first and understand the data and see if there are other things at which we could do. What we found was that the way that this company was calculating, not just the carbon footprint for travel for us, but also for a number of other of their clients, they were using dollars spent. Well, if I use dollars spent and I'm a procrastinator, I'm spending a lot more money than those that planned to travel 2 months ago, right? We've also got a number of professors that were adding in that carbon tax in their plane tickets, which you shouldn't do. In the state agency, you can't do that. But professors were doing that because they wanted to feel good. The problem with that is, if I'm using the dollars spent on travel, I'm just kicking myself harder, right? The students took a study on this, and we found that if we recorded exactly how far you traveled and by what means you traveled, we can reduce that carbon footprint by 50, 60%, right? So that's the angle that this group is taking, is looking at the data, understanding the data, and figuring out how we can make a difference. And so with the new travel system that's coming online, one of the benefits of that, it wasn't put in there for that, it was put in because of COVID. When COVID hit, Clemson wanted to bring everyone back, and they didn't know who everyone was, right? It was all on pieces of paper and different things. The whole system wasn't together. And so they put in this new travel system so it's all together, so we know next time. Hopefully it won't be next time, but if there is, right, we know. And that outside of that benefit is for us now, we can actually see carbon footprint. I put this in here just for some fun, really. My students, like I said, I've had 50 students come through the program. This student thought it was fun. We took the data that we had for all the trees on campus. And this is interactive. I picked the purple, right, which I can't even read from here, but I picked that. Willow oak, is it? I don't know. Oh yeah, willow oak, right? I picked that one, and those are the trees that I showed. The bigger the circle, the bigger the tree, right? And we're beginning to get facilities and everyone to understand that those trees could be used as a carbon offset. So taking all of that, we now know the carbon footprint. Let's drill down. This is all the buildings on campus. I'm now monitoring, I can monitor electricity, water, steam, chilled water, and I can begin to see which buildings are using the most. So that way, if I want to try and reduce, I go after the worst, right? If I'm going to spend the money, then let's spend it on those that are the bad ones, like Hunter Hall, right? Let's figure out how we can fix that so we can reduce our energy. Oh, by the way, we're also reducing our carbon footprint, but that's a kind of a byproduct. What we're actually doing is reducing our energy costs, or how much money we're spending on energy. This is at the building level. So now I've got maximum temperature, CO2, humidity for every building on campus. Oh, no, not quite. Most buildings on campus, right? And I can begin to see what's going on. We've got AI behind the scenes here. modeling this. The top diagram actually counts how many people are in the space. So now if I know how many people are in the space, and I know how long it takes the building to get ready in the morning, I can actually change the way the building gets ready. I liken it like this. I'll use AJ as the example. She takes 2 hours to get ready in the morning, right? And we're leaving at 8. She either has to get up at 6 or change what she needs to do to get ready in the morning, right? The same with a building, right? We've always got the buildings ready to go at 6 o'clock in the morning for classes to start at 8. It takes 30 minutes for the Watt Innovation Center to get ready in the morning. So I'm wasting a lot of energy, right? If I'm waking the building up at 6 for an 8 o'clock class, and I know that the building only takes 30 minutes, I can scale it back, right? So that really helps us save some money. That's all to do with we're using one of our IPs. We've got a number of IPs out. One of our IP is with this. We're calculating people on Wi-Fi. So we're counting people. All of this data is done, I should say, without taking anything. We haven't added any sensors. We have created a sensor. I've got one in my pocket here that we could throw in very quickly. So the students made this. It does temperature, CO2, humidity. They made the box in the makerspace. It enables us to put it down anywhere. We're actually making one right now to measure the growth of algae in the ponds. And it's going to be solar powered, so it gives you an idea of what we can do. Yeah. Yeah, so, and it's always a question, right? So, and the Clemson is wrestling it, may not be as fast as you would want, but it goes to the point where, okay, so we need to put a solar panel down. Where do we put it, right? Do we cut trees down? Do we take it over a parking lot? We had to push it out because we're going to put it more closer, but then because of IPTE members, right, they don't want to tailgate underneath. So we moved it out, so it's 1 megawatt right now, right? And we've got plans, or facilities has plans for a 34 megawatt coming up. They said, let's not build the mega one until we understand the process, right? So let's figure out doing one, and then we'll get with the 34. It's not as easy as you think. We've got it on roads, so we know it's not as simple as it sounds because you've got all the power on the roof. Now you've got to take it down into the grid. What they did do was that new power plant. That is a huge benefit for Clemson. It's run by Duke. Byproduct is steam, so they could have put the chimneys up and get the steam out into the air. What they did do was they actually piped it all back onto campus. So we no longer use natural gas to heat our buildings unless for emergencies. We're using steam, which is a byproduct of the electricity that we're making. That's a huge savings. If I showed you the graph, the biggest problem within that group, within that scope, was natural gas, which is why we're focusing on it. And that's good questions.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And of course, we'll have the opportunity to meet with Tim at the end of the meeting. Thank you so much for your presentation. And in honor of your presentation today, we will donate a book to the Clemson Child Development Center. Please stand for the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do first, second, third, fourth. Thank you so much. Please come and grab a copy here. And if you could sign your name also for the trash pickup. Thank you. Yes. Did I pass mustard? Did I pass mustard?
Am I a member now?